Top secret plan. Wang Lin frowned. I was merely ordered to deliver the message. I don't know the details. Fellow Taoist, you must immediately use the teleportation array to head to the Unity Sect. There are 4 of us messengers in total, each sent to a different Sky Ox lair. Ouyang Jun reached into the void with his right hand, and a jade slip materialized. With a flick, he sent it toward Wang Lin. This jade slip contains records for 3 uses of the teleportation array, as well as the exact locations of the formations. Please make haste, fellow Taoist. I have other tasks to complete, so I shall take my leave. Although he tried to conceal it, a trace of anxiety lingered on Ouyang Jun's face. He clasped his fists to Wang Lin, then turned into a streak of rainbow light and vanished into the distance. Though Ouyang Jun came and went in a hurry, Wang Lin sensed the tension of the Heavenly Bull Continent's cultivators in this war. Silent for a long moment, he lowered his head to study the jade slip. Several streaks of rainbow light flashed down to the ground behind him. Yin Luan and other Void Tribulation cultivators had arrived. They looked at Wang Lin without speaking, their silence heavy. After a long while, Wang Lin put away the jade slip. He turned, clasped his fists toward Yin Luan and the others, and spoke solemnly. Fellow Taoists, after months together, the day of parting has finally come. If fate allows, perhaps within the Heavenly Bull Continent we shall once again fight side by side. Farewell. His gaze swept across Yin Luan, without the slightest hesitation. Then, with a single step, he strode toward the far horizon. Ripples spread beneath his feet, and in an instant his figure vanished. Wang Lin departed with effortless grace. He had never truly belonged to this Heavenly Bull Continent. His coming and going were like the wind, passing through, leaving behind no trace. Yin Luan and the others stared at the direction of his departure. Even after half an incense stick's time, their expressions remained complicated. The memories of the past few months lingered deeply in their hearts, becoming a part of their life's foundation. The very next day, all cultivators within the 3rd Celestial Bull Lair, led by Yin Luan and his group, left the underground palace. They abandoned the extreme heaven grasslands and headed toward the location Ouyang Jun had mentioned deep within the Heavenly Bull Continent. Over 1,000 streaks of rainbow light cut across the heavens. Thus, the defense of the 3rd Celestial Bull Lair came to an end. The Unity Sect, one of the 2 most powerful sects of the Heavenly Bull Continent, was among the 9 sects and 13 gates of the Eastern Province. Though not the strongest, it was by no means weak. The sect occupied a vast stretch of the continent. Countless ancient pavilions and carved towers rose from the mountainsides, shrouded in a faint, drifting mist that gave the entire place a dreamlike aura. The Unity Sect's layout resembled a massive, multi-layered ring, each tier encircling the next, forming what looked like a colossal vortex spanning an endless range. Like the Great Soul Sect, Unity Sect boasted an immense number of disciples, many of them powerful cultivators. 10,000 miles east of the sect, a sudden eruption of dazzling light from a formation shot into the sky, illuminating both heaven and earth. This abrupt phenomenon instantly drew Unity Sect's attention. Dozens of rainbow streaks whistled through the air, rushing straight toward the disturbance. Within the light of the formation, space twisted as the faint outline of a figure slowly emerged, a man in white robes with long white hair. Yet only his silhouette was visible, his features still blurred. At the instant his form appeared, the dozens of Unity Sect cultivators arrived, encircling him. Who are you? Produce your authorization jade slip. A cold, merciless voice cut through the air. Its owner, a middle-aged man at the late profound void stage, stood in 5-element Taoist robes, his eyes sharp as he glared into the formation at Wang Lin. Around him, more than a dozen Unity Sect cultivators, all in 5-element robes, waited with grave expressions. In these times of war, if Wang Lin could not present the proper pass, they would strike without hesitation. As Wang Lin's figure became clearer, the sect cultivators suddenly saw the heavenly ox totem on the side of his face. At that instant, their expressions changed, and they all instinctively stepped back several paces. From him radiated a powerful aura, the unmistakable presence of the Tianyo soul. It shook their very spirits. This aura, they had felt it only yesterday, from 2 other individuals. We pay our respects to the Heavenly Bull Envoy. May we know, Envoy, from which lair you come, and to which sect you belong." The previously cold-voiced middle-aged man now spoke with utmost courtesy, clasping his fists. The others followed suit, bowing deeply. To them, the envoys who had successfully defended the celestial bull lairs were figures worthy of genuine reverence. Even if Wang Lin's cultivation seemed unremarkable, as Ouyang Jun had thought, anyone who could withstand the Green Devil Continent's assault must possess extraordinary strength. Great Soul Sect, Wang Lin, Third Celestial Bull Lair, Extreme Heaven Grasslands. Wang Lin clasped his fists in return. "Please, envoy, this way." By order of the sect master, all envoys are to be brought immediately to the central hall of the Unity sect. The middle-aged man raised his hand, respectfully guiding Wang Lin nodded, gazing at the distant Great Soul Sect. This was not his first time here. In fact, within the abode realm, he had sensed the presence of the Unity sect through the passage deep within the Wind Immortal realm. Moreover, he had some old friends here. Stepping out of the formation, accompanied by the middle-aged man and the group of Unity sect cultivators, they all flew toward the Unity sect. However, before they had flown too far, the teleportation array suddenly flared with a blinding light, shooting straight into the sky and swirling in all directions. This sudden change immediately caught the attention of Wang Lin and the other cultivators. They all paused in their steps and turned to look. The middle-aged man's expression turned cold again as he fixed his gaze on the array, his face now serious. From within the array, a woman's figure slowly materialized. Her features were indistinct, but her graceful figure stirred emotions, making one's heart race. Soon, the woman's form fully appeared. She was a cultivator dressed in purple, looking young and exceptionally beautiful. A sense of tranquility seemed to emanate from her, making her appear almost like a true fairy. On her beautiful face, to the right, there was a heavenly bull totem. Its appearance did not diminish her beauty but added a touch of mystery to her aura. Xiaoxing Sect, Tang Jia, Heavenly Bull's sixth acupoint, Songming Mountain Lawn. The woman spoke softly, her gaze sweeping over the crowd, lingering a little longer on Wang Lin, though her expression remained calm. Upon seeing the woman, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He stared at her for a few moments, feeling a strange sense of familiarity, though he couldn't place it right away. He was certain, however, that this woman was not a reincarnation from the abode realm. Yet, his intense gaze was considered rude by the woman. She frowned and looked at him with a trace of disdain. "Has this friend seen Tang Jia before?" she asked coldly. "I have not," Wang Lin replied slowly. "I just feel like you seem familiar." He pondered, realizing his earlier scrutiny was perhaps impolite. He gave an apologetic smile and withdrew his gaze. Hearing Wang Lin's words, Tang Jia's dislike grew stronger. She had heard similar things countless times in her life and had already decided that Wang Lin was the type of person she disliked. Without speaking, she swiftly transformed into a purple streak of light and flew toward the Unity sect. Wang Lin rubbed his nose, feeling awkward, and with the middle-aged man's strange look, he followed the others toward the Unity sect. Soon, they all rushed across the sky, entering the Unity sect. Under the middle-aged man's guidance, they flew into the sect's grand formation, heading for the central hall. Ahead, purple light flickered, and it was clear that Tang Jia was not unfamiliar with the Unity sect. She headed straight for the central hall with purpose. Half an hour later, Wang Lin saw a vast plaza ahead. In the center stood a huge bell, upside down, emanating waves of immense pressure. Beneath the bell sat two cultivators in a meditative posture. One was an elderly man with snow-white hair, his expression grim as he sat with closed eyes, seemingly indifferent to everything around him. A heavenly bull totem was visible on the right side of his face, flickering with the intense aura of the heavenly bull soul. The other was a young man with a lazy expression. However, if one looked closely, a glimmer of sharpness could be seen in his eyes. He appeared casual, but once his expression shifted, the light in his eyes revealed an entirely different persona. On the right side of his face, a heavenly bull totem also flickered. When Tang Jia arrived first, the young man briefly glanced at her, indifferent. But then, suddenly, his body trembled, and his expression crumbled into shock. He abruptly stood up, staring intently at Tang Jia in her purple robes. Or rather, he was staring at the figure behind her. Wang Lin, dressed in white, his white hair flowing in the wind, guided by several cultivators. Wang Lin saw him too. Tang Jia was taken aback by the young man's sudden shift. She recognized him, knew his position within the Unity Sect, and had heard of his reputation in the Heavenly Bull continent. She had seen his proud figure in the crowd before, but never had she seen such an expression on him. After a brief pause, Tang Jia instinctively turned around and saw the figure she disliked. With a flash, she took at the moment the youth was almost upon him. He suddenly raised his right hand, forming a blade shape. A dazzling golden light erupted from his right hand, transforming into a golden sword that slashed straight at Wang Lin. The power of this strike seemed to possess the force of opening the heavens, causing the very heavens and earth to change color. The entire sky was filled with golden light, as if it might collapse at any moment. Moreover, as the sword descended, the immortal chi from all directions rapidly spiraled and converged around it, as though this golden blade could devour the surrounding heaven and earth energy. The sudden scene caused the cultivators accompanying Wang Lin, including the middle-aged man, to change their expressions in unison. Without hesitation, they quickly retreated, fleeing as fast as they could to distance themselves from Wang Lin. Tang Jia's pupils contracted as she fixed her gaze on the youth raising his right hand like a blade. His figure overlapped quickly with the one she remembered, which had once dominated the world. If I don't activate the Heavenly Bull soul armor, I can't withstand this blow. Tang Jia's cultivation had yet to reach the void tribulation stage. She was only at the 8th level of the profound tribulation. Once she passed the 9th level, she could truly step into the early void tribulation stage. Meanwhile, the elder sitting cross-legged beneath the bell suddenly opened his eyes, focusing intently. The elder's cultivation was profound and unfathomable. The aura he exuded showed that he had reached the mid-void tribulation stage, and his strength seemed to mirror that of the rainbow immortal venerable from years past. Clearly, his cultivation had reached the peak of the mid-void tribulation stage. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. As the youth's golden sword whistled toward him, less than 10 paces away, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly flashed with sharp light. He locked eyes with the youth hidden beneath the golden glow, and his right hand swiftly raised, pointing forward. With this single gesture, the entire world seemed to pause. It was as if some strange power had squeezed the very fabric of space, freezing time and space itself, halting the transformation of the rules, and even freezing the immortal power that had been swept toward the golden blade. The hand strike, along with the youth's every action, came to a complete stop. The gold sword, which had been as devastating as a mountain collapse, was shattered by Wang Lin's single point in that instant. As the youth was immobilized, Wang Lin remained calm, taking a step forward and walking past the youth, stepping onto the square beneath the bell. Seeing this scene, Tang Jia's mind was shaken. She quickly turned to look at Wang Lin, her eyes filled with an odd glimmer. As for the elder at the mid-void tribulation stage, he furrowed his brows, casting a fleeting glance at Wang Lin as if deep in thought. The immobilization spell only lasted an instant. Soon after, the youth regained his movement. With a wry smile, his golden light dispersed, and he turned to look at Wang Lin, his face showing a genuine smile. It's been many years, Brother Wang. You haven't disappointed me. I'm still no match for you. The youth was none other than Yun Yifeng of the Unity Sect. Could you change your unique way of greeting next time? Wang Lin frowned as he looked at Yun Yifeng. Yun Yifeng swayed his body and landed beside Wang Lin on the square. Laughing heartily, he was genuinely happy to see Wang Lin. Their past in the abode realm had been complex, both enemies and friends, and the memories of those tens of thousands of years brought a tinge of melancholy to Yun Yifeng. After all, that long period in the abode realm had occupied a large part of his life. Brother Wang, after returning to the sect, I immediately activated the sect's resources to search for you. Unfortunately, I couldn't find you. Who would have thought you'd suddenly appear in the Unity sect like this? In my joy, I couldn't resist the temptation to continue our battle, Yun Yifeng said, walking toward Wang Lin with open arms, his expression sincere. Wang Lin paused for a moment, gazing at Yun Yifeng. After a long silence, He stepped forward and the two embraced. Yun Yifeng's face was filled with joy. He pulled Wang Lin aside, eager to continue their conversation. But just then, a voice filled with authority rang out from the main hall at the front of the square. Everyone has arrived. Yun Yifeng's footsteps halted. He exchanged a serious look with Wang Lin and immediately stood respectfully. The speaker is the sect leader of the Unity Sect, at the late Void Tribulation stage. Yun Yifeng's voice echoed in Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin remained calm, his gaze shifting toward the Grand Hall, which loomed like a giant beast. "Three of you, state your names." The authoritative voice slowly emanated once more. Xiaoxing Sect, Tang Jia. Tang Jia spoke gravely, her voice soft. Loose cultivator, Bian Yun. The elder stood, cupping his hands toward the Grand Hall. Great Soul Sect, Wang Lin. Wang Lin spoke slowly. His gaze swept the surroundings, realizing that as the voice from the Grand Hall had sounded, an invisible barrier. What unsettled him even more was that the natural order of heaven and earth here had been thrown into chaos by this restriction, making any calculation or divination impossible. This restriction was not something released independently. It was rooted in the very foundation of the Unity Sect, condensed and bound here. The 7 caves of the Heavenly Bull, 3 already destroyed, and 3 Heavenly Bull envoys acknowledged by the beast itself dead. You 4, holding firm to your respective Sky Ox lairs, have rendered great service. After deliberation between our sect and the Great Soul Sect, those with merit shall, of course, be rewarded. The dignified voice carried a tone of ancient weariness, belonging clearly to an old specter who had lived far too long and forgotten the passage of years. Bian Yun, the voice echoed. Present, an elder named Bian Yun stepped forward. For your merits in guarding the 4th cave, I summon you as the Unity Sect's Metal Elder and grant you our sect's treasured metal element, 5 elements armor. As the commanding voice resounded, a golden light shot from within the great hall, radiating a sharp aura of blades and swords. It swept across the plaza before halting in front of Bian Yun, transforming into a golden set of armor. A crushing pressure burst outward, rushing at him. His composure broke, replaced by visible excitement. Thank you, Sect Master. Bian Yun drew a deep breath, cupped his fists, and bowed toward the hall. At the instant he bowed, the golden light dissolved into countless fine golden threads, burrowing into his body until they vanished. Tang Jia, the commanding voice rang out again. For your merits in guarding the 6th cave, I grant your Xiaoxing sect the right to triple its territory, recruit thrice the number of disciples, and receive 3 times the cultivation resources. Furthermore, I bestow upon you our sect's treasured water element, 5 elements armor. A streak of blue light surged from the hall, transforming into a vast tide of seawater that swept out and shrouded Tang Jia. In a sudden flash, it fused into her body, flowing through every pore. Tang Jia trembled, her usually calm eyes rippling with emotion. Thank you, honored sect master. She bent respectfully, her voice reverent. Yun Yifeng. With solemn expression, Yun Yifeng stepped forward and gave a deep bow. For your merits in guarding the 4th cave, and since you already possess the wood element 5 elements armor, I grant you one of our sect's 4 inherited divine abilities. Alongside it, I bestow upon you the sect's immortal artifact, the spirit-slaughtering dagger. As the words fell, 2 streaks of rainbow light whistled out from the hall. One was a jade slip, the other a sinister black dagger. Though no larger than a dagger, it was conical in shape, bristling with 9 deadly spikes, exuding an aura of pure terror. Thank you, Sect Master. Yun Yifeng's face lit with excitement as he received both items, bowing once again to the Great Hall. Wang Lin. The solemn voice paused briefly before sounding again. Wang Lin remained calm as he looked toward the hall and stepped forward. For your merits in guarding the 3rd cave, I grant you the fire element 5 elements armor. Flames erupted from within the hall, surging into the air as a blazing sea of fire. From it condensed a fiery suit of armor that hurtled straight toward Wang Lin. The rewards have been dispensed. Now, I will assign you a mission of utmost secrecy. The voice reverberated slowly. Yun Yifeng started, opening his mouth as if to speak, but after one glance at the Great Hall, he held his tongue. The others had each received 2 rewards, but Wang Lin alone had received only 1. It was not only Yun Yifeng who noticed. Tang Jia and Elder Bianyun also cast brief glances at Wang Lin, each clearly realizing the same. Bianyun, with his deep cultivation and brooding temperament, cared nothing for matters unrelated to himself. After a single glance, he withdrew his gaze, indifferent. Tang Jia, whose impression of Wang Lin was poor, naturally ignored him as well. "Your mission is," the voice echoed, but before it could finish, a flash of cold light appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. "Wait." Wang Lin's gaze locked onto the hall. Taking 2 steps forward, he cut off the words of the Unity Sect's master. The moment his voice rang out, Yun Yifeng's expression changed drastically. He shot Wang Lin a sharp look, silently urging restraint. Tang Jia's eyes narrowed, disbelief flickering across her face. She had not expected Wang Lin to speak so boldly at such a moment. Even Bianyun turned toward him. "Your mission is to go to the Green Devil continent, infiltrate the Green Demon Temple, destroy the Green Demon Idol, and cripple the Green Demon Soul. If you succeed, the 4 of you will have achieved unparalleled merit for the Heavenly Bull continent." The authoritative voice paid no heed to Wang Lin's interruption, continuing slowly to reveal the top-secret mission. As the words fell, Bianyun's expression shifted instantly. Tang Jia's face changed as well, and Yun Yifeng too. Clearly, none of the 3 had heard this before. Their expressions darkened in unison. To enter the Green Devil continent was far too perilous. A single misstep would mean never the Green Devil continent had already become far more desolate. As for the few patriarchs of the Green Devil continent, there would naturally be others to restrain them. That is the mission. Now then, Wang Lin, do you have anything to say? The voice remained slow and steady, as though in this world, nothing could stir it into a second fluctuation. Because of this, Wang Lin could not possibly endure it. Even if it were the sect master of the Unity sect himself, he would still demand an answer. "You have the lowest cultivation. 1 suit of armor is enough." This matter was decided after consultation between our sect and the Great Soul sect. It is a reward. You may not understand, but you must accept it. If you do not want this 5 elements fire armor, then I shall take it back. As the majestic voice echoed, the suit of flaming armor floating in midair instantly collapsed with a roar, transforming back into a sea of fire that rolled straight toward the Grand Hall. If it was indeed the result of consultation, then where is the proof? Wang Lin said slowly, his gaze fixed on the hall. The moment his words fell, a gloomy light flew out from within. Inside that light was a single strand of white hair. As it shot forth, the hair burst apart, faintly transforming into a figure. That figure was none other than the Azure Ox Patriarch. If this matter of reward has been set forth under my name, then I will not alter it. Should Wang Lin refuse to comply, let this serve as proof of judgment. Wang Lin stared intently at the phantom of the Azure Ox Patriarch. He knew this was not a true avatar, but merely an imprint of divine sense. The proof has been given. "Stand down," came the cold, detached voice of the Unity Sect's sect master from the hall. Wang Lin's expression revealed no ripple. If this was truly the outcome of discussions between the Great Soul Sect and the Unity Sect, then such injustice meant he no longer needed to weigh the agreement he had with the Azure Ox Patriarch. Silent, he spoke no further. He simply stood there calmly, as though nothing had happened, showing not the slightest regret over the fire armor being taken back. "Now, I will unleash my divine powers and activate the Unity Sect's 10,000-year immovable grand formation, sending the 4 of you into the Green Devil continent. Before that, each of you must leave behind a strand of life soul. Through it, I can bring you back from the Green Devil continent the moment you complete your task." At the mention of life soul, Wang Lin's pupils imperceptibly contracted. The benefit of such a measure was the guarantee of being recalled. But the drawback was just as grave. His freedom would vanish, his movements forever under another's control. Yun Yifeng, as a disciple of the Unity Sect, did not hesitate in the slightest. He raised his right hand and struck his brow. With a shudder, a wisp of soul energy poured out, condensing into a soul sphere that flew into the grand hall. Elder Bianyun hesitated briefly, but he too did not refuse, drawing out a strand of his life soul and sending it in. Tang Jia remained silent for a time, then bit her silver teeth. For the sake of her sect's growth, she was willing to sacrifice anything. Moreover, this was how things were supposed to be. Without it, they would have no way of being retrieved from the Green Devil continent. After all three had handed over their life souls, only Wang Lin remained. He was silent for a long while, then gazed at the Grand Hall and spoke slowly. I refuse this matter. I will return to the Great Soul Sect and meet the Patriarch before making any decision. Farewell. With that, Wang Lin stepped back, preparing to leave the plaza. You may leave, but leave the soul armor behind. The majestic voice from the hall suddenly thundered, and a massive black hand formed of mist appeared in the sky, clawing down toward Wang Lin. Cold light flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. In that instant, countless thoughts surged through his mind. The sudden change made it difficult to discern what exactly was happening. The Azure Ox Patriarch's shift in attitude, coupled with the Unity Sect's abrupt obstruction, within all this, something unknown to Wang Lin seemed to be unfolding. He even had the strong sense that if he gave up the soul armor, he might never leave the Unity Sect alive. Without the armor's boost to his cultivation, his situation would become perilously dire. This feeling was overwhelming. In truth, Wang Lin had never intended to keep the soul armor for himself. His original plan was to complete the Azure Ox Patriarch's 3 conditions, repay the 3 gifts, and then leave the soul armor behind for the Heavenly Bull continent before departing alone. After all, the soul armor did not belong to him, but to the entire Heavenly Bull continent. But now, faced with these strange twists, Wang Lin's vigilance deepened. He had no idea what had transpired within the Heavenly Bull continent during the 6 months he had spent in the extreme Heaven Grasslands. In such uncertainty, he absolutely could not allow the soul armor to be taken away. With it, he still had the means to protect himself. Without it, it would be as if he stood at the edge of an endless abyss. From the moment I entered the Great Soul Sect, this has all been set in motion. First came obvious injustice. If I spoke up, I would fall into their trap. If I stayed silent, they would still demand a life soul, forcing me into compliance. In the end, today's events are aimed squarely at something's wrong here. The Unity Sect knows my identity, knows I come from the Abode Realm, and even knows about Xian Luo's existence. Yet they still act this way. Wang Lin couldn't understand, but there was no time to dwell on it. Faced with the choice between abandoning the armor to face the unknown or keeping it on for one last battle, he didn't hesitate. He chose the latter. Almost the instant that massive hand descended, as Bian Yun, Tang Jia, and Yun Yifeng froze in shock, the Heavenly Bull totem on the right side of Wang Lin's face suddenly erupted with boundless black light. It spread over his entire body in an instant, weaving into countless black threads that wrapped around him, forming an ebon mystical armor that even covered his face. Only his long white hair floated freely without wind. The moment the armor enclosed him, Wang Lin's cultivation surged violently, from the late ethereal stage straight to the early void tribulation stage. His right hand shot upward, the soul subjugation seal roaring like thunder as it transformed into a colossal 6-fingered demonic imprint, striking head-on against the massive black hand descending from above. The explosion that followed shook the entire Unity Sect plaza. The 6-fingered demonic imprint shattered instantly, yet the black hand trembled violently as well, half of it crumbling away. Even so, part of the hand still descended, slamming into Wang Lin. With his current cultivation, the mere touch of that remaining black hand turned Wang Lin's face deathly pale. Blood sprayed from his lips as his body was flung backward at terrifying speed. Wang Lin has betrayed the Heavenly Bull continent. Issue the Soul Unity Decree. Every cultivator of our continent is granted the right to kill him on sight. Whoever slays him will be rewarded with the Fire Element 5 Elements armor, the Deputy Ghost banner of the Great Soul Sect's Mountain Guarding Array, and 1 Heavenly Bull Pearl. As Wang Lin's body hurtled backward, he heard these words. Clenching his teeth, an unspeakable emotion welled up inside him. He faintly felt that these 3 treasures were originally meant as rewards for him. The moment the decree was announced, Bian Yun's expression twisted in shock and disbelief. Without a second thought, the Heavenly Bull totem on the side of his face flared with dark light, threads swirling around him to form an identical heavenly ox soul armor. His cultivation exploded upward, surging from the mid-void tribulation stage straight into the late void tribulation stage as he charged after Wang Lin with red eyes. Because of those 3 words, Heavenly Bull Pearl. The Heavenly Bull Pearls had been discovered countless years ago by the Great Soul Sect and Unity Sect when they opened the 7 caves of the Heavenly Bull. There were only 7 of them, each holding countless mysteries. They could be used as powerful artifacts and possessed the ability to alter time itself, allowing cultivators to train within them. But that wasn't what made them priceless. Their true value lay in the fact that each pearl could house the soul of the Heavenly Bull. With one in hand, the bearer of the Heavenly Ox Soul armor would no longer be restricted to the Heavenly Bull continent. Even far away, the armor could still be summoned and worn, because the pearl itself was equivalent to the Heavenly Bull's very soul. Had Wang Lin known this earlier, he would have realized something shocking. The pearl bore a strange resemblance to a certain item he possessed. Of the 7 Heavenly Bull Pearls, the Unity Sect held 3, and the Great Soul Sect held 4. For countless years, they had never been given as rewards. They were sacred treasures of the sects, used to anchor the great mountain protection formations and to create sanctuaries where disciples could cultivate for ages. Only when 3 pearls were gathered together could such a sanctuary be formed. Thus, the one offering a Heavenly Bull Pearl could only be the Great Soul Sect, since they possessed 1 more pearl than the Unity Sect. The Great Soul Sect's mountain-guarding ghost banner array was its ultimate secret, and even the deputy ghost banner could unleash devastating power from a great distance. These 2 treasures alone were enough to drive anyone mad. That was why Bian Yun's eyes burned red as he charged out at full speed. Tang Jia's body trembled. After a brief moment of silence, she bit her lip. Dark light surged around her, forming the soul armor as her cultivation skyrocketed to the mid-void tribulation stage. Without hesitation, she too sped after Wang Lin. Only Yun Yifeng remained where he was, silent and grim-faced, making no move to pursue. Yet as Tang Jia dashed past, he suddenly sent a strand of divine sense into her mind. Hearing Yun Yifeng's words, Tang Jia froze midair, whipping around to stare at him. "Is this true?" she demanded. Yun Yifeng looked at her and nodded. Tang Jia's expression shifted dramatically. She turned away, transforming into a streak of rainbow light that vanished into the distance, her heart in complete turmoil compared to before. When she was gone, Yun Yifeng turned toward the Grand Hall and dropped to one knee. "Sect Master, you owe your disciple an explanation. I have told you everything about Wang Lin's identity and his connection to the Grand Heavenly Venerable Xin Luo." Silence filled the hall. Only after a long time Wang Lin raced through the Unity Sect, his expression dark and his divine sense spread wide. Very quickly, he sensed something was amiss. The entire sect was deathly silent. No disciples came to block his path. Not even the great protective formation of the sect's mountain gate stirred, as though it had been shut down. Without hesitation, Wang Lin pushed his speed to the limit and rushed toward the sect gate. Thunderous booms echoed behind him as Elder Bian Yun's eyes flashed with a strange light. With his cultivation at the late void tribulation stage, he crossed vast distances in mere steps, chasing rapidly after Wang Lin. The 2 streaked through the sect, one ahead, one behind. In moments, they passed through the mountain gate. The instant they left, a violet arc of light shot out after them. Immediately, the sect's grand formation rumbled to life again, returning to normal as though nothing had happened. Wang Lin flew thousands of miles away in a single breath, but within this range, the workings of the sect's protective formation disrupted the flow of heaven and earth, making it difficult to perform the shrinking earth technique. Only after leaving this turbulent region did Wang Lin prepare to employ it and escape. But just as he was about to vanish, Bian Yun caught up. His expression was cold as his right hand abruptly lifted, forming a seal. The sky above changed instantly. 7 shimmering starlights appeared against the bright blue heavens, shining like 7 stars in the night sky. 7 stars slaughter. Bian Yun's eyes glinted with icy light. For the sake of the great treasure promised as reward, he cared nothing for the Unity Sect's unusual attitude toward Wang Lin. What he wanted was the sole Unity Decree task, publicly announced by the Sect Master, to execute Wang Lin for rebellion. As long as I bring back Wang Lin's head, I can exchange it for the reward. Even if something about this feels wrong, I'll pretend I didn't notice. That way, I'll be carrying out the Sect Master's order. The Great Soul Sect won't be able to object. After all, Wang Lin betrayed first. I'll just be the executioner of a traitor. Though Bian Yun was a rogue cultivator, he had reached the mid-void tribulation stage and even earned the recognition of the Heavenly Ox, acquiring the Heavenly Ox soul armor. Such achievements could only come from extraordinary talent and ruthlessness. His mind made up in an instant. As his right hand lifted, the 7 stars in the heavens suddenly erupted in brilliance. Vast currents of heaven and earth force gathered from every direction into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the 7 stars let out an earth-shaking roar and plummeted downward like falling meteors. The howls threatened to tear apart the firmament, carrying a destructive might beyond description. Just as Wang Lin was about to vanish using the shrinking earth technique, he lifted his head. His gaze swept the sky, and what he saw made his eyes narrow. The clear blue heavens now held 7 black streaks, like meteors, descending at immense speed toward him. At the head of each streak was a black stone, the size of a fist even from this distance. As they closed in, their scale grew monstrous. What had appeared fist-sized now swelled to the size of a great basin, and still they expanded, threatening to blanket 1,000 miles in ruin, reducing everything within to rubble. This was a power only possible because Bian Yun's strength had been amplified by the Heavenly Ox soul armor. Ripples surged beneath Wang Lin's feet as his eyes flashed. He was about to take the decisive step to vanish with the shrinking earth technique. Bian Yun, unaware of this divine art, would never be able to stop him, no matter how overwhelming his attack. But in that very instant, a violet arc of light streaked up from behind Bian Yun. Within it was Tang Jia, her expression conflicted as she fixed her gaze on Wang Lin in the distance. Her speed was astonishing, and in the blink of an eye she neared Bian Yun, as though intending to pass by him. "Senior Bian Yun, allow me to assist you. For the reward, I only ask for the 5 elements fire armor." Her soft voice spread through the sky, mingling with the roar of falling stars. Without waiting for his reply, she drew within 100 feet of him. Bian Yun frowned, but said nothing. Yet Wang Lin's stride faltered. His eyes sharpened. He had clearly noticed something unusual about Tang Jia's approach. "What are you doing?" Bian Yun too sensed the anomaly. His eyes gleamed sharply as he swept his sleeve, retreating quickly. Black wind surged from his body, forming layers of defense. At that moment, Tang Jia's pupils flared with golden light. Raising her jade-like hand, she pointed forward. Instantly, 8 golden gates manifested around Bian Yun, encircling him from all sides. 8 gates seal. The 8 gates radiated endless golden brilliance. Closing this sudden scene froze Wang Lin's gaze. In an instant his mind churned 100 thoughts, yet he hesitated no longer. Abandoning any thought of retreat, he flickered forward, becoming a wavering light and rushing straight toward the sealed Bian Yun. Wang Lin's character had always been like this. If others didn't provoke him, he wouldn't go out of his way to offend them. But now, since this Bian Yun intended to kill him first, once he found an opportunity, he would strike back immediately. When he saw Tang Jia unleash the Golden Gate, he immediately understood why the opponent felt familiar. The aura and feel on the woman were extremely similar to Tang Shan, the 3rd consort. Reading her name, Wang Lin could deduce there was a deep connection between this woman and Tang Shan. All this happened in an instant. In that moment, Bian Yun was caught off guard as 7 stars descended within the sky. Suddenly 3 of them, having lost control, dissipated in the heavens, but the remaining 4 roared toward the earth. From their appearance, they would land in short order. As these 4 stars descended, a black flame rubbed along the meteor and burned with astonishing force. Even before it landed, layer upon layer of heat swept toward the ground, and a power that seemed to reverse heaven and earth formed, enveloping the surroundings. Ignoring the meteor falling from the sky, Wang Lin closed in before the 8 gates sealed Bian Yun. His right hand rose abruptly, and with a fierce gesture he sent forth a set of hand seals. The heavens roared. The 7-colored spear illusion manifested, its color shifting 3 times, finally becoming the 7 colors triple transformation, howling straight toward Bian Yun. Then, with incomparable speed, as he neared, Wang Lin formed a palm seal with a slap of his hands, and the enormous six-finger demon hand seal instantly appeared and charged toward Bian Yun. If these two divine arts alone could not badly wound Bian Yun, Wang Lin ground his teeth and, with both hands weaving seals, in the last moment, he pointed a finger at the sky. Instantly the world rumbled. The earth became a sea, the world turned black, and far away a radiance of the blazing sun suddenly appeared. The remnant night technique, in Wang Lin's hands, was unleashed for the second time after he donned the soul armor. As for Tang Jia, now that she had moved, there was no hesitation. With a gesture, her hands swept forward, and within the black world enveloped by the remnant night technique, a large golden whip suddenly appeared. The whip hissed and lashed with a momentum that seemed capable of shattering the sky, heading straight for Bian Yun. Her casting speed could not compare with Wang Lin's. After Wang Lin had unleashed 3 divine arts in succession, she had completed only one. Bian Yun's face changed drastically. He was sealed by the 8 gates. These 8 gates are Tang Jia's most proficient divine arts, and she used them at the mid-void tribulation peak after donning the soul armor. Their might centers on entanglement. A flash of killing intent crossed Bian Yun's eyes. At that moment he no longer thought of anything else. He bit his tongue and sprayed blood, which turned into a cloud of blood mist, forming countless blood-red feral souls that wailed as they surged toward the 8 gates. With a roar, the 8 gates collapsed. As Bian Yun recovered and prepared to act, he faced the approaching 7 colors triple transformation spear at great speed. He couldn't dodge in time. With a wave of his sleeves, a palm-sized white shield appeared before him. Its light flashed, and it collided with the spear. In the rumbling din, the spear shattered, but the white shield likewise split into innumerable cracks. Before it could crumble, Wang Lin's 6-finger demon seal rapidly shrank from immense size to less than 10 zhong and slammed into the shield. The white shield offered no resistance and shattered, causing the palm seal to fall before Bian Yun. Roaring, Bian Yun's face turned pale. He tumbled backward, his right arm lifting to strike his brow, and he let out a low roar toward the heavens. Behind him, a heavenly ox soul shadow manifested, roaring as well, sending ripples that spread outward. The ripples shattered the 6-finger demon seal, but Wang Lin's divine arts continued. 3 in quick succession, and as that seal dissolved under the remnant night technique, the blazing sun in the sky rose fully, unleashing a force that tore the night apart. Divine message art, Bian Yun, during the successive assaults, finally saw the clue hidden within the blazing sun, and his eyes widened in disbelief as he retreated rapidly. But as he stepped back, Tang Jia's golden whip flashed with the sun's brightness, swinging and tearing away the night, heading straight for Bian Yun. In a heartbeat, with a roar, it struck Bian Yun. Bian Yun coughed blood, his expression extraordinarily wretched. He tumbled backward again, and his only thought now was to escape the reach of this divine power. But he was still a step too late. The blazing sun rose into the sky, its radiance spreading wildly in all directions with a tearing force. On the other side, Yin Yun spewed another mouthful of blood, his eyes bloodshot. At that moment, he felt true danger. In an instant, he made a decisive choice. As he retreated, Yin Yun suddenly halted, raising both hands to press against his brow. His body leaned slightly backward, and then, with a violent snap, he flung himself forward. In that very instant, a phantom of the heavenly bull emerged around him, its forehooves lifted high, twin horns aimed at the heavens as if to pierce through the sky itself. The phantom released an earth-shaking roar and,